And one other thing I just wanted to add, like, in terms of about guilt and shame and like really judging yourself too harshly, like I never really used, when I was really young and like in my teens and 20s, I never really judged myself for anything. You know, you don't really question your conscience, you just act, right, without even thinking about it. Definitely over the past 10 years or so, I've really gone through my whole moral life and compass with a fine-tooth comb and looked at everything and tried to find an explanation for it and forgiven myself for it and asked forgiveness and stuff like that. But I think the danger is when you get into that mindset is that you become so sensitive to it that every time you do something wrong, you feel like you deserve to die or whatever. Like the judgment is so strict that you put on yourself. Like I'm my own worst judge. But it's like, you know, you become so like Gestapo-esque with it that it's just destructive. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're humans. We're meant to make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how many books we read, how many religious philosophies we take on, how religiously we go to church, or how puritanical we do, how many good deeds we do. How many good thoughts and intentions we have. We're always going to make mistakes at some point in our lives, be they small or be they really big. And that's fine. I think it is still really important to have a clear moral compass. That was the most important thing to me for so long, was to have just a clean slate and a completely clear mind of no conscience, nothing in my conscience of things like, oh, I did that one thing, no regrets, you know, because I just wanted to have a free of that and clear. And I do feel that I am. But now I feel like I'm not so harsh on myself now. If I make a little mistake here and there, or if I do something wrong, you know, I'm going to try and justify it to myself and get all angsty. Then I just say to myself, you know what, relax, you're a human being. You made a mistake, like everyone. You're never going to know everything. You might make the same mistakes over and over again. You know, as long as you realize what you're doing and you can justify it, but you know, don't be so harsh on yourself. It's like, treat yourself as you would treating your best friend. Like I said to myself, if I was going to sit down and have a chat with my best friend and they told me something they'd done or something they felt really bad about, would I ever say to them, you are such a nasty, horrible person, you deserve punishment? No, but that is the inner voice that I say to myself if I do something even slightly wrong. And it just ruled me for so long, which I think is part of the reason why I became this like uber kind person, because I just wanted to do everything so right. And then after a while, that became my nature, because I am naturally a kind person. There's a difference between being kind and being fraughtly, stressfully, like wanting to please everyone all the time. But I said, would I ever say that to my best friend? No, I would never say that to my best friend. I would say, do you know what, darling? It's all right. You made a mistake. Forgive yourself. Ask yourself what it is that you do and why did you do it? Why did you do it like that? Do you regret it? Would you do it again? No. If you could do things differently, what would you do? Okay, well, we can't change the past, but you know that you did wrong. I mean, you know that you feel bad about it, and maybe they had a lot to do with it as well. It wasn't all on you, you know, and now you know that. So try not to do it again in the future. Maybe you will mess up in 10 years and do the same thing again, but try not to. You've got the knowledge, but don't judge yourself so harsh. You deserve better, and look at all the wonderful things that you do as well. You know, it's like we all fight this internal battle that perhaps we never show, and perhaps no one will ever know. But I think one of mine was judging myself too harshly every time I made the slightest mistake, or said something mean, or said something critical, or did something that could be deemed unkind or dishonest, right? Because I always wanted just to be pure and clean. So I've learned now that is my I do prefer to be like that, pure and clean, but there's nothing wrong with being critical. There's nothing wrong with saying what you really think, and there's nothing wrong with you know, standing up for yourself. But I think that anyway, I just had to put that out there. So don't let guilt and shame rule you, because it's like a cancer. It can just grow and grow and grow. Like as soon as you let one little iota thing bother you, before you know it, you're like the world's worst person in your head. And it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It needs, some context and some perspective for you to realize that you actually are a really good person if you're even thinking about that in the first place. And just to be as kind to yourself as you would to your family and your best friend. My mum went through the same thing in her youth. We've had discussions about it. She's been through the same thing. I'm sure she won't mind me telling you. But we're not perfect. We are going to make mistakes through life forever, no doubt. And we're all just trying our best. We're all just doing the very best we can do all the time. So just forgive yourself, forgive others, but most importantly, forgive yourself. And move on and just continue trying to do the best you can do. And talk to yourself like you would to your best friend. All right, lots of love. Bye.